time I read in English in front of the audience. I'm so sorry for my broken English, but I will try, saying goodbye to myself. I was 36 years old when I was forced to leave my parents behind, my siblings and my children, and set out on my own. When I walked out of that door, it was a heavy trauma to know that I was not able to return. It is not possible to describe or write about these feelings because when you remember, words become nuts, like what goes through a person. It is not like just putting on a jacket and walking out the door of your house. You are leaving the person you were. You are distancing yourself. I am not talking about those who had to leave their country with their families. Their traumas are also heavy. I am talking about those who had to set out on their own. Your family is your country. When you take your family with you, you take your country with you. Your country is just a piece of land. How can one explain the feeling of being forced to walk away alone? I had given birth only a few months earlier, and my body was exhausted from having given birth to a new human being. I had barely recovered. I had given birth to my little baby, but I had to leave her world and my world as well. Was the wound in my womb or my body? This pain pierces my heart so deeply. When I think of mothers who had died while giving birth, I empathize with them. Which abandonment is more painful? That of the babies or that of the mothers who had been separated from their babies? I want to cry loud, but I can't. Years pass. The wound does not heal. As I closed that door and moved forward, I thought that nothing could either upset me or make me happy anymore. There is nothing left to be sad or happy about. It is the absence of all feelings, and I know what real emptiness is. It is not as if I were died, because when I would have been able to take something with me, at least death is a common end. When the died leave, they take their life stories with them, whereas refugees have had their life stories killed. It is extremely difficult to consider some memories as if they had not existed, such as the girl running barefoot in a village among 4 mountains, the neighborhood where I wrote the rebel slogans on the walls, the smells of mortar on my father and brother who had come from the construction, the worried eyes of my mother, the excitement of my baby crawling with a pacifier in her mouth and waiting for milk, the hands of my little girl whose long hair spread on the pillow at night. I was on the road that led neither to death nor to life. I was split in two on that route, and each part of me was moving in opposite directions. One of my halves was moving in unknown direction to a time period called the future, and to a place that I did not know. Everything I had experienced turns into nothing, as if had not existed. The other half was moving into the past. It went backwards, starting from the last moment when I drifted apart from my own self. I tried to go as far as I could remember. I could not just leave my own self. I left everything behind. While moving forward, I had buried my own self in history while returning to the past. The worst part is that the way back is closed. Even if you could return, nothing will be the same anymore. You will not find anyone, not even yourself, as you left them. So, step by step, you keep going backwards to one side and forwards to the other. There is no reason for me to have to be making this choice. Somewhere in the world, there are people who have abandoned themselves and buried themselves in history in the same way as I have. I understand that this road has come to an end. Every memory I encounter on my way to my past causes tears of anguish, and I feel as if I am in a void. Where am I going? Who am I going with? And how will I get to my future? When I look back, I remember many people, friendly faces, meaningful places, and unforgettable memories. At the end of the path to my new future, which I take with empty step, there is only one thing waiting for me: freedom. Will that be enough? Who could sacrifice everything for freedom? It has been sacrificed. You understand. Your life is like a gambling card in the hands of politicians or judges. It doesn't matter who wins the game or who loses. You and people like you are the same ones who are wasted in these kinds of circumstances. You have surrendered your loved ones, everything you have learned, and your memories. Only your freedom is left, and you have to stand up for that now. Does it console me? I have never been able to answer that question. Many years ago, I spoke to a beautiful woman who had never been married. I asked her if she regretted not getting married. I have never loved anyone more than my freedom, she said. After that, I had a hard time to understanding her. I tried to understand how she came to the conclusion that love is the something that takes away her freedom. We should not have to choose between love and freedom. At least, I did not think that I would have to make such a choice at that time, but I had to. I had left my baby and my loved ones for my freedom, my past, my childhood, and my children had all been left in a wasted territory surrounded by borders. I left them there. Was it only me or people like me that could not fit in that land? They did not let us fit. They took everything from me. It didn't matter whether that route led to a prison or to a new country by crossing the border, because I knew and felt that nothing would ever be the same again. All the stones had moved. In the void in which I was moving, I was going as if I counting backwards from 10 to my destination. The boundary was point 0. If getting there was a 0, then I counted from 0 to 1, 2, 3. I was continuing. It didn't matter anymore whether I progressed to 10 out of 10 or to 100. I just remembered the point 0. Thank you.